Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'll be doing another first impressions video on the Vanity Planet Blend Party brush set. Ever since ColourPop's disappointing brush launch, I feel like a lot of people are looking for cruelty-free brush set options. So since I really like Vanity Planet's last release with the palette brush set, I still use their contour brush, their foundation brush, almost every single time I put on makeup. So Vanity Planet is a brand that I've been using for more than a year. I really trust their product. So I really hope I like this because I have never actually tried oval makeup brushes before. I remember last year when the whole Artiste brush set trend was so huge, but it was really expensive. These are much more affordable than the Artiste brushes. The listed price on the website is $110, but if you use the affiliate code in the description, you can get it for 70% off, which makes them $33 per set. I just really like affordable makeup. So oval brushes, usually the claim is that it can increase the coverage of your foundation, much faster application because the brush head is so huge. So yeah, this is gonna be exciting. This is a sponsored review, but like always, my opinion is gonna be honest. They didn't tell me to say that I like the brushes, they just sent these products to me to do a review. So I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna do a live demo of the makeup brushes with my foundations in natural lighting plus my studio lighting, which is just desk lamp, my face isn't blown out or anything. So if I'm bullshitting you and it's actually really streaky, you'd be able to tell. So yeah, let's try these. I'm such a huge fan of Vanity Planet's packaging. This looks so nice. They have these brushes in two colors, black and pink, and I told them specifically to give me the pink one because this is so pretty. It's got some very interesting shaped brushes that I've never tried before, so this will be fun. I'm just gonna open it here. Aww, it's got a message. Stay pretty and go get them. 10% off all items. That's nice. Blend Party user guide. Oh my god. You can apply skincare products with these brushes. Concealer, foundation. Okay, I'll follow this guide. So this is what the brush set looks like. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I can't wait to use this one. Oh my god, it's so soft. It has a bunch of different sizes, although this one and this one look very similar. I'm guessing this one is for eyebrows. Again, I'll follow the guide and do my makeup according to it. I'm gonna use the biggest one first because that one is just so pretty. So this is what the brush looks like. It's so much softer than I thought it was gonna be, and the handle is bendy and it's supposed to adapt to your face shape. Some people like it when the handle isn't bendy, but I think it's just personal preference, so I'll see if this works for me. I'm gonna put on my headband. So I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison. I usually like to put on my foundation with a Real Techniques sponge, so I'm gonna do that on this side of my face, and on this side I'm gonna use the oval brush, and I'm gonna use the Ordinary Coverage Foundation because it's my favorite foundation right now. I'm familiar with it and it's medium coverage, so you can see the difference, or if there is a difference. I feel like the oval brush is really up against it because this is literally my favorite foundation with my favorite application method. So I think it's gonna look really good. I think it's gonna be really hard to beat this side. So I just did one layer of the coverage foundation on this side with the beauty blender, with the sponge. And now we're gonna do this side with the oval brush. Squeeze the foundation on here. That looks so weird. Oh, it feels so soft. So I just finished this side with no concealer on either side. I'm gonna zoom you in. I'm still growing my brows out, so excuse my brows. Just off of first impressions, I think this side has a lot more coverage. I'm sure I can get this amount of coverage on this side if I use another pump with the sponge. I really do think this brush increases the coverage. See, most of the redness around my nose is gone, whereas on this side you can still see a bit of it. And on each side I use one pump of the foundation. I do think that it has a little tendency of catching little hairs in the apartment. Maybe it's because the brush head is so big and I don't know, I feel like it collects dust. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a little tiny hair on my nostril, and I think it got there when I was applying the foundation. I think that's just the nature of big brushes, but so far I really like it. No streaks yet. That was what I was the most worried about, is that it would look streaky. Because this brush set is so affordable, I kind of was worried about the brush quality, but this is so soft. Now I'm gonna apply concealer. I'm gonna use the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, in Custard. By the way, recently I've been applying a lot of concealer and shearing it out with the beauty blender because I like my old way of applying concealer, but I think it's starting to take a toll on my eye bags. So I'm trying to use the most gentle way of blending makeup that doesn't drag and pull and tug on my skin. On this side, I'm gonna blend it out with the beauty blender again. For this side, I'm gonna use the number 4 brush to blend it out. This concealer brush is a little bit more stiff. I think because the bristles are a lot more dense, this one is a little bit more stiff than the foundation brush. I think it still blends really well. I've read reviews of other oval concealer brushes that it could drag the concealer away, but as you can see, the concealer is still in this area. It's still very bright. My cheeks, I feel like, is a lot more lifted on this side, and I think it's because the concealer for the most part is still there, whereas this side kind of got sheared out. But yeah, I'm really impressed so far. Next, I'm going to use the number 5 brush because you can use oval brushes with cream, liquids, powder, basically anything. I'm going to see how this works with powder. I'm using my RCMA No Color powder. Just going to dab it. I don't see how this wouldn't come out patchy. I don't really like this brush for powder. Oh, okay. I don't really like using this brush for powder. I think mainly it's because the brush head is in this shape, so there's only a very small point, like small area where it makes contact with your face, which makes applying the powder really hard. However, if you already have powder and you're trying to buff in the powder with the rest of your foundation, I think this would be really, really good, but it doesn't work for how I usually wear my powder day to day. I don't know, I'll have to play around with. Next is the part that I'm looking forward to the most. I'm gonna try to fill in my brows with these 2 brushes. These are number 2 and 3, I believe. I have never ever used anything even close to this when it comes to my brows. It's always been angled brushes for me. We'll see how this goes. I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in medium brown. I know a lot of people make fun of the oval brushes for looking like toothbrushes, but this legit looks like a toothbrush. Okay, so I just finished doing my brows. What do you think? I think that for the most part they're done and filled in, but I like to make my brows a little bit tidier. But I still think they're kind of messy, so this wouldn't be my only step. But just to fill in my brows, this was so fast and I really like it. I guess if you are into the messy brow look, you don't really have to do much else than to just fill them in with a brush and some brow powder. But I like my brows tidy, so I'm gonna use a brow pencil and just frame them a little bit better. Now I'm gonna use the number 7 brush to do my bronzer, and I'm using the ColourPop Private Party Press Powder. I know I said I didn't like this in my first impressions video. I'm starting to like it more and more. So I'm gonna apply this right here. That is very dark. I did rub into this, but oh my god, I did not expect it to look like this. Let's buff it in. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side, my forehead. I thought brushes 1 and 10 are the same, but turns out one is a dome shape and this one is flat. So I'm gonna use this to contour my nose with the same bronzer. This feels so weird. Just finished the bronzer, and now I'm gonna use the number 8 brush for highlight. And I'm using the Jouer highlighter in Citrine. I'm gonna do this under my brows. It's kind of intense. I'm just gonna buff it in with the powder brush I used earlier, because that is intense. Oval brushes doesn't just increase the coverage of your foundation, it increases the intensity of all the other face products you put on. I'm gonna do the other side as well, down the bridge of my nose. Should probably do it vertically. I'm gonna use the brush that I used earlier for my nose contour and just do a simple eyeshadow. This actually gives you such a precise application. If you have eye eczema like me, I would not recommend using this on the daily because you are rubbing something against your eyes. I've been trying to lay off of eyeshadow, but it gives you such a precise application because it goes right in your crease. Last but not least, I'm gonna use the number 10 brush and apply my lipstick with it. And I'm using the Milani liquid lipstick in the shade Beautiful. I've never really applied liquid lipstick with anything other than the applicator that it comes with, so this is gonna be fun. Okay, so I just finished applying my lipstick, which was kind of messy. I think this would be best if you are doing kind of like an ombre lip and you're trying to blend everything in together, not necessarily for just straight application of some really pigmented liquid lipstick, because it did get a little bit messy and I prefer the applicator in this. So overall, do I like the brush set? I really like the foundation and concealer brushes. I am kind of iffy about the powder brush because you have to buff it in, but not everybody likes that buffing method. I'm still on the fence about the powder brush. It's really not my taste, but everything else, I think it applies highlighter so beautifully. Foundation definitely increased in coverage and I think it looks really good blended. I also think that the brow brush was so good. Again, it is messy, but it filled in my brows so fast. And I wasn't using a brow powder, I was using a pomade, so that's stiff and hard to blend to begin with, and it still filled in my brows so easily. So I was really impressed. I'm gonna zoom you in one last time so you can see everything, you know, finished and blended. Anyway, I hope this first impressions was helpful. I'm really happy to have found another brush set that I really like, that's affordable. Oh, another thing, I want to make a college advice / Q&A video sometime next week, you know, because fall semester is about to start. If you have any questions, feel free to leave that in the comment section of this video as well. I feel like I've been talking forever. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.